Suddenly, the verbal threats take a physical turn.
Verbal assaults. Paintball guns. Downright brawls.
Damn.
Neighborhood Wars is not just a television show on A&E, but reality for a lot of folks who find themselves at war with the folks who live next door.
Fat Mexican bitches!
Race is where this neighbor war really began. Fleetwood in West Houston is overwhelmingly white. And well, as you can see, June Molnar isn't. And she recounts a shocking conversation with her new neighbor.
She said to me, a black moving in next to me is going to bring down my property value. And I said, what do you mean? She says, well, you know, blacks are known for that. And I was like, excuse me? I can't believe she says it. And I said, and she's saying it to my face. I said, it's so rude of her.
Neighbor Yolande Conver denies ever saying such a horrible thing.
Did you ever make any racial comments to
No,
her?
never.
Never?
That may have started the battle, but not what set the stage for the legal fight these neighbors have been waging ever since.
Don't come over my side anymore.
Where that post is my property line?
No, your
Just step back.
your property line is back there.
Neighbor wars often erupt over property lines, not the color of your neighbor's skin.
And the caution tape is the actual property line.
My post.
You don't know who you're with.
Okay, coward.
I'm fighting to save my property.
After their yard seemed to flood every single time it rained, the Molnars called a surveyor back in 2012 to check something weird out. It seemed like the fence was closer to their house than it should be. And they were right. It was 1 foot closer than their property line said it should be. So the Molnars gave a copy of the surveyor's report to their neighbors. But it didn't go so well.
She said she planned to keep our property. We're paying taxes. You've never paid a cent on it. We've paid all the taxes. We've done everything right. What gives you the right to steal somebody else's property?
The fight went downhill from there. Look what kind of stuff the Molnar surveillance cameras caught neighbor Yolande doing, throwing stuff on their lawn. The Molnars say they even had their car tires slashed, but they can't prove it was their neighbors. It's not a wall, but the neighbors even dug a trench and built this stone ledge on what they claimed was their version of the property line.
She said, I'm not going to stop. He said, you don't know me. I'm relentless. I'm going to keep fucking with your property. She said it just like that, and I was like, why is this lady doing this?
Yet it's the Molnars who have just lost a 5-year legal battle to simply reclaim 12 inches of their own property.
I'm so angry. I feel defrauded by the neighbors as well as by the court systems.
It's a neighbor war that went all the way to the Texas Supreme Court. More than $150,000 in legal fees, over 12 inches.
Do you have any feeling like maybe you should give them that extra little foot of property from the fence line?
Hey, look, the Texas Supreme Court decided everything.
The Conver said they had the right to the new fence line and that piece of their neighbor's property because of something called adverse possession. The Convers testified under oath that the pool equipment on the other side of the fence was the original equipment they installed way back in the early 80s. The fence built around it had been there so long that they could now legally claim ownership of the property. Kind of like the way a squatter can take over someone else's house and get away with it for months, even years. Harris County District Court Judge Bo Miller agreed with them.
I am so frustrated, and I think Judge Bo Miller should not have been the judge in it. He knew nothing about property law.
We don't know what Bo Miller knows about property law, but we do know he needs a crash course in geography and race.
The judge kept calling me an African. He went to this whole spiel about having a set of Africans in his court and how loud they were and how disruptive, and I'm thinking, if he wants to know where I'm from, he needs to ask me. I'm not an African.
June is from Guyana, Judge. That's in South America, not Africa. The judge wouldn't talk to us about this neighbor war, but in looking at a transcript of a court hearing, we saw another very odd and insensitive comment Judge Miller made. Quoting, like the War of the Roses, But it's the French versus the Germans. And we're in the United States, so we need to get along. Hey, Judge, Edmund Molnar, June's hubby, he's not German. He's Austrian. Take a look at a map. But hey, they all sound sort of the same, right, Judge?
We are neither Africans, nor French, nor Germans. So there is obviously some prejudice in there.
The Texas Supreme Court may have spoken in this case, but the Molnars, they're not finished fighting, and they came to Dolcefino Consulting for help.
The public should know about these things. They should know that they're electing judges that do nothing for them.
And the Molnars say they now have proof their neighbors not only cheated them out of their property, but allegedly lied doing it.
They should be in jail because they lied.
During their lawsuit, a surveyor took a look at the property line and told Judge Miller that the pool equipment that was allegedly 40 years old wasn't where it used to be. Quote, appears to be new for the most part. It wasn't until after Judge Miller's ruling that the Molnars took a much closer look at the pictures of the pool equipment, and using modern technology like zooming in, they looked closer and closer.
We could actually zoom in and see the serial number on the pool equipment. You can determine when it was fabricated, when it was manufactured.
So the pool equipment had been there since the 80s. So explain this. When the Molnars zoomed in on the pump, they spotted the serial number. They researched it on the manufacturer's website and discovered the part wasn't even made until 2017. They also zoomed in on this other piece of pool equipment, got the model number, and called the manufacturer. Turns out it also wasn't even made until 2017.
Can I ask you about the pool equipment that you say you put in?
I do not answer any question. You see my lawyer if you want something.
The Convares are sticking with their story.
It was in 1981.
Did you put that pool equipment in recently?
No, I put on 87, 82.
In 82. Well, how come the parts say that they were made recently?
Hey, I don't know what they want to do.
The Molnars have now filed a formal criminal complaint against their neighbors with the Harris County District Attorney's Office, claiming they defrauded the court, committed perjury and sworn testimony during the trial.
Come right on my
Now you're trespassing. Boom.
property right here.
And like so many neighbor wars, this one goes on with no truce in sight.
I feel so much anger. I feel so much disgust, so much anger. I've reached the point where if they happen to fall down in their front yard in front of me, I wouldn't even look to hand them any help.